Hello, this is Bill Clodsey, and we're starting up our first online draft for Kaladesh. Try to have this up for this weekend, which is Grand Prix Atlanta, first big limited event. And we opened a good one. Smuggler's Copter, probably worth an arm and a leg right now too. So fortunately we can take that and stay open. The other good card that I can see right now is Voltaic Brawler. It sucks to be a commitment to two colors so early, but this card is a real beating. They used to print cards like this that just didn't have any text on them, like 2 mana, 1 of each color. It would be a 3/2. That'd be pretty good. A couple removal spells in white. The Sky Swirl Harrier is really good. Flying is hard to deal with, and I like this new Ondu Giant, but nothing here is even really close. I like the Sentry too, but nothing here is too close to the Copter. You don't want to fill up with too many vehicles, but this one is so cheap and so easy to crew that it's pretty insane. Okay, so this is where my evaluation of cards is going to really dictate the pick. This guy is great. It's like a better version of Thragtusk in some ways. It's bigger, it's got a bigger butt, 5/4. It's Trample, which, I mean, both those things are over Thragtusk. Not quite as good because it's not just entering and leaving the battlefield all the time and getting a beast. So it's a little easier to deal with sometimes. But at uncommon, this is great. Hunt the Weak is fine removal spell. Pima Outrider might be better than the Stomper sometimes. Like if I could have, 5 of one of these, I'd probably pick the Outrider. But even then, the Stomper gains a ton of life. So I'm going to pick that here. It sucks a little bit to pass a bunch of good green cards, but it doesn't really matter what we're passing so much as what we are getting past. And we get past another good green card, but at this point it looks a little weaker than Hunt the Weak. And I do want to start cutting green. So that's a good reason to take it over something like Brazen Scourge, which is also great. Your first pick of the whole tournament, or your first colored pick, I guess, can just be determined by what's best. That's the easiest pick. But once you have a slight direction, it does change the evaluations a little bit. And that's why I like Hunt the Weak here over Brazen Scourge, even though I would probably pick Brazen Scourge out of this pack. But even then, it's unclear. I'll take Hunt the Weak here. If we can end up in green, I mean, that would just be great with these first few picks. All right, make a couple of servos. Could be good in some decks. Die Young. Ooh, Shrewd Negotiation. Trying to see what else is here. A Thriving Grubs might be one of the better cards in this pack. Die Young is fine. Shrewd Negotiations seems like a real good deal. Oh, you can... Okay, so it's good to know what these things do. Switcheroo is similar. Exchange target artifact you control for an artifact or a creature your opponent or someone else controls. I'm going to take that here. Sometimes it's going to be close enough to just stealing a Gear Hulk and winning the game that the upside is so strong. Pummeler, not really interested in this. If it was a late pick and for some reason you had a bunch of pump spells, maybe it gets better. Attune with the Ether. This is a fairly safe pick because the Shrewd Negotiation could be a splash. And you don't really, like, Nimble Innovator, Windrake, these are fine. They might even be actively good. But to make a deck really work and to cut green a bit, I'm going to take the Attune with the Ether here. I have more affinity for green now than I do for blue anyway. Vehicles. Okay, so we already have one vehicle. This Demolition Stomper is impossible to crew, although the Arborback Stomper does a good job. He hops on here and drives it around. But not really what you're looking for 6 mana. Card I like best out of this pack is Thriving Ibex. I could see an argument for Dund Operative, Live Fast, and Thriving Ibex. So I'll take the Ibex. Green-white, if you're just going for raw power, green and white do that pretty well. How many Artificers do we have? Not too many. Era is the build around blue uncommon enchantment. I don't think it's one of the better ones. Drawing 3 cards is okay. But yeah, that's not going to be the pick here. Trade Winds might be better than that, but a foil Ondu Giant, that works well for me. It's worse than Ondu Giant, but not by much. Being a 3-2 is a little worse than a 2-4 for a defensive deck that's ramping, but yeah, it's aggressive. Okay, what are we not seeing here? This guy gives haste, that's fine. Red does seem to be coming. The Aetherborn and the Malfist squad are both considerations here. Which one is better? I'm going to start with the Aetherborn. It's just a bigger body, and you know, that's kind of relevant. Okay. So green did dry up quickly. The Surveillance is not, you know, it's kind of like a glorified fog. It's only damage that's dealt to you, so it doesn't really make a creature win combat, so that makes it a little worse. I don't love it. Mind Rot, Night Market Lookout for our Smuggler's Copter nonsense. I might actually take that here. There's some serious upside to a card like this, and some cheap vehicles. We already have one good one. Okay, Aradara Express. Again, one of the more expensive vehicles that you don't really want to load up on. It's okay, but I think let's go with this Dakara Scavenger, a nice crocodile, to get back our Arborback Stomper. Workshop Assistant. Now we are trying to get 1 or 2 artifacts if we can negotiate such a thing. We also have Failed Inspection. Yeah, I'm going to get the Assistant, even though it doesn't seem all that powerful, because it could have some upside with the Copter and some other things. Okay, Puzzle Knots. Instead of those, I'm going to take the, well, instead of the red one here, which might be a little better, I'll take the blue one because it doesn't look like we're in red. And sure, I'll take a blue card. I would... This is the kind of card I hate to play. A 2-1 that does nothing. I mean, I get it. Blue doesn't get 2-1 so often, so this is a thing. But, oh wow. Fumigate, another bomb. Anyway, what more to say on this guy? It's not even an Artificer. Like, it doesn't even have any of the synergies that this set is trying to support slightly. So it's just kind of like, it feels bad to play it. Fumigate, great. All we have is an Ibex, but if we get rewarded with some more white, like, we'll probably try to play Fumigate no matter what. Very hard to lose with this effect. Easily the best card here, although Furious Reprisal is another nice one. Tidy Conclusion is solid. Those are the big 3 in the pack. I'm not sure how good Creeping Mold is, but there are better answers for artifacts and enchantments. And a shout out to Thriving Turtle for being awesome. Wow, Whisper Weaver Angel. Oh, and Pima Outrider. Shoot. Oh no. It might have to be the Outrider. The Angel is expensive. It is really good with Arborback Stomper and Wild Wanderer and just about all the cards in our deck. But facing down a Pima Outrider when you stumble is just too much to handle. It gives us a creature for our negotiation if we splash an island. And there'll be more things like this. This could be wrong. It might turn out that like Whisperweave Angel is just the best and you should never pass it. But I think even though it's less of an interesting pick, the power level of Outrider is so strong. I am questioning it though. I'm not sure about this pick. Wow, another Whisperweaver Angel. I don't think we can give this one up, even for the exciting Inventors Fair. So it's a good sign that we're being passed some white. Cool. Well, I'd definitely rather have one Angel and one Outrider than two Angels. What else? We've got the Mythbuster here. He just punches down doors that people say can't be punched down. Thriving Groves. These guys are the cutest. They're also very good, so don't pass these lightly. Anyway, without further ado, the divine entities in this world, Kaladesh, they do have multiple arms. It's kind of cool. This and the Mythic, that would be great to open in pack 3. The Mythic Angel that fabricates. And if we go really deep, we can get that guy back if it dies with our black card. To be fair, this card does splash well. Old Scavenger here. Alright, Whirler Virtuoso is interesting. It's double off color. Chief of the Foundry is maybe the best card here. It just makes Smuggler's Copter bigger, and not that we have a huge theme for artifacts yet, but Blooming Marsh is also one I would consider taking here just to splash things more easily. What is happening to our mana base here? 1-drops, 4, 5, 6, 5. I'm really torn here. It is a 2-color format, but sometimes you feel like you really want to splash a color. Our black's not good enough to warrant that. I'll take the good card here. I'll take the Chief of the Foundry. Also, Appetite for the Unnatural. I thought so long about that pick that I didn't even mention it. Appetite for the Unnatural is a card I would always main deck. Instant speed is great, the life gain is not irrelevant, and there are so many targets. If they go ahead and crew their Aradara Express with all 5 of their creatures, and you kill it in response, before it can attack, what a beating. Cool. Another great card. Visionary Augmenter, you never cut this one, and it helps us play Fumigate and whatnot. Whatnot? We're getting a little... Yeah, here it is. Yeah. They even have their ether lines. Don't touch these things, by the way. You get blown up. There's warning signs around it. Ooh, Ether Meltdown is good. Blue seems to be open. Really not sure if another Attune is good, but it's probably fine. We don't have ways to use energy yet. I mean, we have one Thriving Ibex, but that's okay. The best card in this pack is this Ether Meltdown, I think. But since we're green, I guess we're not necessarily definitely green, but I'll take this here. Cool. Okay. So another kind of tough pick. We're probably set with Attune with the Aethers for now. Maybe this Eddy Trailhawk is better. It does give us another way to use energy, and it's also a way to attack with like a big Arborback Stomper in the air. Flying's good. It can crew the Copter. This does a lot for us. Nothing else here that's too ridiculous. Another Wild Wanderer is okay. We seem to be doing all right for 4 slot to begin with. Ooh, wow, what is this? More lands. Draw 3 cards if they're empty. Okay. I don't really want to be the one to try this. I'd rather have a deck that's good with it and have my opponent play it. So, what to take? Maybe the first self-assembler. It went this late in this pack that I wouldn't mind trying to get to. And again, I don't want to take another Wild Wanderer. We just have so many 4-drops. Alright. Blue seems to be open a little bit still. But I guess I'll just take this ninth bridge patrol. The effect looks like it would be on an uncommon. Making this common makes me wonder, like, if it's actually worse than it looks. But you wouldn't want too many of this effect, because a lot of times it's just going to be a 1/1 that dies to some kind of Chandra's Pyrohelix. Okay, I wish this was another self-assembler. I don't love this. Refurbish would be a fine sideboard card. Herald of the Fair is aggressive, and we don't have too many things to pump up with it early. It could be Live Fast here as well. I like that over Refurbish, sure. Be a nice little Obzon deck. The big worm comes back. Might be the takedown for the sideboard over a 2-drop that's playable but not very good. Another even worse 2-drop, I think. I don't know, at this point we might need to start picking up cards like this just in case. And we're not going to play a double blue counterspell or a red card if we can help it. Wow, look at this guy. I'd be terrified too, my goodness. Anyway, give me the cute grubs any day. Thriving grubs. Ultra respect for this train. People are not touching it. Well, we didn't open our Mythic Angel. Can't be too sad, though. We got a lot of good cards so far. Now we have some options. I guess Splashing Blue is still an option, but less likely if we have to go into 3 colors. Thriving Rats, maybe the weakest of the cycle. Okay, each creature with a 1/1 counter. Draw a card. I'm going to take Cabal here. The pick is between this legendary advisor and the Make Obsolete. It's possible Make Obsolete is just better, but maybe not. This guy does a lot of work, and we don't have that many creatures early, so I will take that. Besides these 2 cards, the Judge is okay, I guess. The Impeccable Timing is fine, and another Wild Wanderer. Okay. A second self-assembler, and a great black card. It is double black, so that does make it a lot harder to cast in this deck, which is not necessarily trying to have black as one of its main colors. Get this Express out of here. I also like Riparian Tiger because it attacks for ridiculous amounts of damage, and Tidy Conclusion, but again, we're not really looking to be heavy black. We have double green cards that are great and double white cards that are great. Ether Hub helps fix. Hopefully the self-assembler can come back to us. I wouldn't mind the Ether Hub, but the Tiger's strong enough to be a finisher. Alright, so what about Wily Bandar? You could get worse pilots, I guess. Monkeys can fly copters. In general, it's a pretty bad card. It'll wheel anyway. The Pillar Bug, lifelink is fine. Let's just take Impeccable Timing. It's a solid spell. It's better than something that says, like, destroy target creature with power 3 or less, because that can easily be countered, and this could still be relevant in combat as a trick. It's relevant especially with abilities like First Strike or Trample, where the rest will go over. Trusty Companion, kind of weak, but a good pilot. How many ways do we have of dealing, or not dealing, but like using energy? 1, 2, 3, kind of. So what would be a better pick here? I do like trying to take this self-assembler. We might even succeed in taking it. Ah, it seems like black is open now. An essence extraction, but I really don't want double colors of 3 things, and it would really weaken, like it's still not as good as Fumigate. It's still on the level of Augmenter and the Angel. So at this point, I'm not going to really consider the double black card. So yeah, I'll take the assembler. Assembler number 2, and maybe the third one wheels to us. Huh, another live fast, or a pretty good 5-drop. Problem is, we have so many 5-drops already that we really don't need it. Then again, there's not much else here. So if this card is good, I mean, we could take out some stuff and put this in. It might be an upgrade to the Aetherborn, just because it's easier to cast and whatnot. Okay. Decoction module, an energy source. We don't really need that much energy, but the return target creature to hand could be useful for the Arborback Stomper or the Whisperweave Angel or the Augmenter. So it's a slow, grindy card. Is there a better option here? Underhanded Designs might be better. The Extort ability here is colorless, so it's not a bad splash card. And there's Acrobatic Maneuver. I'm going to take Underhanded Designs. If we're splashing black for powerful cards, this is a pretty easy to justify. Spark. It's okay. Be better if it was instant or something. And not much else here. I mean, there's another Workshop Assistant and a Cog Workers Puzzle Knot. The Puzzle Knot has the upside of, you know, being good with underhanded designs. And I guess, like, yeah, that's what it is. Might not end up making the deck. Trade Winds, Market Lookout, I don't know. Wow, make obsolete wheels. Black was really open this pack. I wonder if the removal spells will wheel too. Definitely take that, highly splashable. And a third self-assembler. That's about the limit you'd want anyway, so yeah, I'll go for that. Of course, both Cat Monkeys wheel. Should probably never play this card. Surprised to see Nimble Innovator. Definitely the best card here, though. And Hexblade Golem with an upside. And his upside is sitting on his shoulder. I guess if he's sitting on the shoulder, it means he's a 6/8, and if he's running off somewhere else, that's the servo. In any case, we'll add him to the sideboard. He's nice and foil. Make a little foil servo token. Wow, Thriving Grubs is back. This card's great. It reminds me of the Unleashed Chainwalker that was a 2/1 that you could make a 3/2 attacker. Well, this guy's better than that because he can block later and get bigger later. And that guy was good. The downside of this guy is that if there's like a 1 damage removal spell, they have a window where they can get it. And there are a couple of those running around. Alright. The only blue card I'd consider splashing are the Negotiations. I don't know how the plurality works with that. The negotiation, I guess. Anyway, we're also definitely not red. So this makes things a little easier on the eyes. We also have a few cuts. This format has the advantage of having a lot of playable cards. I don't think we can get away with going down to 2 colors, but we could take a look at that. If we cut a color, it would be black, and then we have 22. Oh, maybe we're getting close. Something like this. I don't like that a lot. It does get rid of a couple of our strong splashes. The console is very good. The make obsolete is great. Underhanded designs is strong. Let's see. Harrier, but then we do need some cuts, so I think the Harrier gets the cut. Automaton can get out of there. We have 2 Attune with the Ethers, so this is really like playing 17 or almost 18 lands. So we don't need as many white or black sources, and if we only have these 3 strong black splashes, removal and kind of a hard card to play around, and just a curve filler. Okay, another card we could cut is the Workshop Assistant, and it does get rid of an early creature for us, but that particular creature is pretty bad, and instead play something like this Puzzle Knot, because that does have some upside. It's 1 mana for 3 artifacts, so it still works well with underhanded designs. It's 2 servos, they get bigger with the Chief. Maybe we could get away with playing like Aradara Express. All of our self-assemblers crew it. Yeah, I could see that as a final win condition. We don't have that many ways to sink energy, but I like this. If we're going to ride the train, we better do it right and test it out. If the train is like always bad, at least we'll find out. But it does seem powerful, especially in some matchups which go late and, you know, they have to team up on this to try to kill it. All right, so 3, do we need that many? Probably not. We want more green. 7/7/2. Attune with the Ethers work not only as white sources and black sources, but as our double green sources also. Yeah, so 7/8/3, 7/7/2. A little worried about the mana base still. But a lot of the stuff we could be doing, like the early stuff we need to do is white and black. And if we don't have the Attune, then we could always just play that later, or don't have the mana for it. It seems okay. What cards are really striking me as strange in the sideboard? The Harrier is a strong one, I like it. The Aetherborn is good, but not as good as the black cards we have in the deck. And those are the only 2 cards I really regret in the sideboard. I guess Live Fast could be a card advantage engine. All right, this looks like a fun one. This is also a league, I should mention, because that's the only draft available online for a few days here. So who knows what we'll play against. But it doesn't really change the drafting part, which is the exciting part anyway. You could argue that it does, and you'd be right, but not much. Anyway, should be fun to see how good some of these strategies are here.